What's up, man? How's it going? Nice. Door dashing. PA, nice. I got a little time at home by myself. Had to do some DoorDash. Wife and kids are gone to a thing. Hey brother, hello. Shalom. How many instruments do I play well? One. And then I kind of screw around on a few. I can play the saxophone pretty good. But I play the piano a little bit and the guitar. And then I've been working on the harmonica some. Also, it's hanging on my guitar up there. And then that mandolin is actually, I inherited it from my dad, from my grandfather through my dad to me. And can't play it. I mean, I can play a few chords on it, but my dad's really good on the mandolin. So I'm going to be having, excuse me, Kevin Bobick on in a little while. He has some late work, so he's going to be a bit late getting in with me. So I'm just going to hang out, chat with whoever about whatever. What is this song? It sounds super familiar. Oh, then you really find out what it's like. Dang. I'll have to look that song up and learn how to learn the words. What's everybody up to? planning on talking to Kevin right now, so don't know what to talk about. Just wait on him. Play me Stairway to Heaven. How do you play it? I have no clue. I'm not kidding. I know very few songs, like actual. Mixing all the verses in my head. The world for a while, but I'm free. Free falling. Well, I'm free. Free falling. It's not the right key. Not because of gravity, nope. Density. Bro, Professor Dave. You mean non-Professor Dave? Oh, God. I can't remember what I was doing now. They've got me all laughing. Does anybody else find it weird when people say things like this? The moon debunks flat earth. And that's how that's proof to them, is just saying those words. It's weird. Vika, what's up, brother? You have no idea why you're saying the moon debunks flat earth. You just say random stupid stuff. It's funny. How's it going, Vika? You doing alright, brother? Kevin's gonna be a little late coming in. He had a late work call last minute. So we're just gonna hang out and chat. Do I believe in biblical cosmology? I do believe. I don't necessarily. I'm not a teetotaler. Think it has to be exactly the way the Bible says it. I am a originalist for cosmology, the Norse cosmology was a flat Earth with a dome. Chinese, Japanese, Egyptian. It's what everyone knew. It's what everyone knew, regardless of affiliations or doctrines and dogmas and things like that. I'm not one that says, oh, it has to be exactly, the firmament means it's the hard rakia and it's made of glass and it's, I don't know, it could be some form of energy or something that creates what we consider the firmament. Could be exactly as the Bible says. I don't know. But I'm not one I don't like to make claims other than what I can prove, and I can physically prove Earth is flat, measurably, day after day after day. So that's all that matters. I like the idea that there's other realms and lands beyond Antarctica, and I think it's very plausible. It's much more plausible than outer space. But again, it's one of those things, I can't make a claim to it. It's cool and it makes for good stories and would make for good hope if we were ever actually allowed to just independently and freely travel and investigate and explore Earth without having to worry about who thinks what border we're going across and junk like that, or protecting a penguin. You know, outside of that, being able to do that, it's just speculation. But we can measure that Earth is flat all day, every day. Your last video speaks about your old clay flat Earth map from Sumeria. I need to check that one out, Vika. I don't have to explain anything, bro. What? I'm not claiming there's more than one side of the moon to see. So why do I need to explain anything? You're the one that claims there's more than one side, but then needs to explain why you can only see one side and has to come up with some kind of crazy excuse. I have nothing to explain. I'm not claiming there is more to the moon other than what we see. Pretty simple. Drums, what's up, brother? And then, hey, Gunner, what does what's happening up there have to do with what's happening down here? You know, what's going on in the ceiling doesn't determine what's happening on the floor. Foundation. Distracted, which I like to, I mean, you can look at my page. I like to talk about these things, but we get distracted when it comes to the argument of trying to prove what things in the sky are when it's irrelevant. We can prove Earth is flat every day. Elevation angles, taking an elevation angle proves that Earth is flat. No other argument matters. There's no logic involved in that. What does the moon having multiple sides have to do with anything? You're inferring things and you're presupposing things that you can't prove. There's one side that I can claim. I see one side of the moon. That's all I can see. I feel like that's probably all there is to it, is that one thing. It's probably a plasma. Right, that's it right there. Seeing what you shouldn't be able to see. We can see too far, and we can't see far enough. Alright guys, so it's a paradox, and the heliocentric model of Earth is full of paradoxes, and it's these things that they just can't figure out why it's like this. And I can solve every single one of their paradoxes. You don't live on a spinning ball. No more paradox. The spinning ball, the heliocentric model, all these things happening cause these paradoxes in their model. It's not a perfect model. It has, it's not got all these problems worked out, and people are like, oh, you need a model. No, there's not a heliocentric model. There's not one. It's got paradoxes over and over, just like we can see too far and not far enough. And let me explain what that means. So take your telescope, you look into the sky, and you believe you're looking millions of miles and light years into the sky at objects that far, that you think they're that far away. But yet you take that same telescope, bring it down horizontal, you watch a boat go over the horizon, and then you can zoom right back in with your telescope on that boat. But here's the paradox, is why don't you just see, since the Earth is curving and you're looking this way, Earth's going this way away from you, and you're looking this way, then why don't you just look out into space horizontally? Why do I have to look up to see space? And why is my telescope only good for a few hundred miles looking here, but when I look up it's good for light years? Because it's not good for light years. It's good for a few hundred miles. That's what you're seeing. You can't look at anything and tell it's three-dimensional. You can assume whatever you want, but you don't know, bro. You're just assuming stuff because it's what's been programmed in your brain to assume. But you can't prove it. It's all that matters. Lunar eclipse on flat Earth. And look, we get distracted with all those things. Bro, you don't have a working... We just established this. You don't have a working model either. You have multiple paradoxes, which means your model doesn't work because you have problems you haven't figured out. So until they can figure out to make the math work, because that's all it is, it's just they presuppose this idea that the sun is the center of the universe, the earth is a ball and it's rotating. All those things are presupposed, and then they just work math until they figure it out. And then they base theory around that. It's crazy. Space literally means the absence of matter, which means nothing could exist if there was a such thing as space. Right, you're supposed to observe, not assume. Not just observe, you're supposed to also experiment. Dude, this guy with Professor Dave is hilarious. I hope you're Professor Dave trying to boost your own stuff on YouTube, because that's hilarious. Please let that be Professor Dave trying to plug his own stuff up in my comments. Right. Why are we looking up all the time? It's distraction. You're programmed to think when you look up you're seeing light years and all that stuff away. But then if you take that same telescope and look across the water or whatever, get up on a mountain, look, you can see for hundreds of miles. And just the same way you do with a camera or with your natural eyes, the angular resolution limits of your eyes take effect, and the sky meets the horizon at a certain point, no matter what. And no matter how powerful your telescope is, at some point it loses the power to be able to see. But it's never going to see curve. It's always going to be a flat plane. Angular resolution limits. I mean, it's easy. Like, dude wants to distract with all this other stuff. Elevation angles, and we can see too far and not far enough. When I say not far enough, it means if you're telling me that telescope is looking at things light years away in the sky, then I should be able to see light years in that direction too, horizontally. Physical proofs. Those are physical proofs right there that anyone can go and do and prove. Hey, he's claiming there's no... So listen, you just made a physical claim. So you have the burden of proof. You understand that? Do you understand how this works? So you're saying there's no up and down in space. That's why we are not upside down around Earth, blah, blah, blah. Prove space exists. Before you can even claim that there's no up and down in space, you need to prove it exists. Just like you can, before you can claim that Earth is a spinning ball, you need to prove it's curved and then prove it's moving. And you can't. Physical proof, not mathematical. That's just stories. Math is a language. And it can tell whatever story you want it to, just like words. It's not an absolute. Not sure what to believe. Man, there's all kinds of things that could be. I know it's where we live, and the ground and water that we live upon is provably flat. Outside of that, what's going on? I mean, maybe the Norse had it right and it's some version of Yggdrasil, or maybe the Hebrew version is exactly right. Maybe, you know. Just get an elevation angle using a curved adjacent, and then you can prove the Earth's a ball. But it's impossible to get an elevation angle with a curved adjacent, because you can't get an elevation angle on a curved surface. You need a 90-degree right triangle, which requires a flat baseline. Earth is flat. Measurably, observably, testably, repeated over and over and over again every single day. Provably flat. Mostly plains, yep. Of what's not water. Well, Lou, check this out too. If you get into it, it's land everywhere. Everything is land. And it's all flat. Like, under the water is land. And that land is flat. You can look at every trench, every crevice, everything. Land is flat. It might dip and go down like this, but never does it contort to a ball. It is just a plane. And it goes a topographical plane. Even under the water is a topographical plane. You will never see a depiction, a real depiction of some measurements where Earth is conforming to a ball. It'll always be cartoons. Always. Billy's got Connecticut to Long Island. Do you have them posted on here, Billy? Tag me in some videos and stuff if you do. I like to share those things. Yep, continental slopes, abyssal plains. Abyssal plain. Continental shelves. Slopes. I remember geometry. I don't know if most people do. East to Port Jefferson. What's that distance, Billy? Dude, that's big. Jeez. What was your viewing height on it? I got the best view on mine. Mine's just over 10 miles for the lighthouse that I've got here down from my house. And at about 12 feet above sea level, I get the best, which I've not even went up as high as 20. But it just gets you above that haze. I mean, you can see shoreline and everything even at ground level. It just looks like crap. But as soon as you just get a few feet up to where you're out of that haze and humidity and junk coming off the water, you can see pretty clear. Like I can see shoreline, buildings, and everything for this lighthouse, and part of the lighthouse is supposed to be obstructed, but got everything. Dang. Bro, I mean, I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but I did see somebody, who was it that, somebody shared the Matthew McConaughey one on here today, and I saw it. And then I saw somebody share the one where what was the other one? They had the astronauts up with strings and stuff, and then the camera going in front of it to... Dude, it's pretty crazy, and I think it might have been the Super Bowl that did it. I don't know. I haven't asked him yet. But my brother, who is actually a pastor, but doesn't believe the flat earth, or doesn't know what to believe on the flat earth stuff, and you know, like most. And so I talk to him every now and then, but he doesn't really discuss it, never ask. But over the past like 2-3 days, he's been asking me questions and going back and forth on stuff. It's pretty hilarious. Kevin's coming in just a little bit. He had a late work call last minute. He'll be coming in here in just a little while. Dude, listen, I didn't even realize who Kevin was until yesterday. I was trying to make a little video to promo the live tonight, and I was like, hey man, do you have anything other? I had just like his poster from the movie coming up, and I wanted some other stuff, and I was like, do you have any videos or pictures or anything of, you know, stuff of yours that you want to send that I could put in this little promo? And so he starts sending me links, and I see this, the first one he sends me is the one I shared as the first promo vid. and it was his in geology class, and I was like, wait a minute, because I saw this forever, like when it first happened, and I was like, wait, you're that kid? He was like, yeah. So it actually is pretty awesome to get to talk to him when he does get here for me, because that was one of my favorite videos. When it came out, I was like, wow, this dude's got balls. Like, right up in class and just boom, boom, boom. So hopefully, he might be tired of talking about it, but he's going to talk about it tonight, whether he likes it or not. That's why I did the whole some random kid in the video, and then tonight we get to meet that random kid. It's hilarious. He's not a kid, obviously. Now he's grown, but just thought it was super cool. World record long distance microwave flat proves it flat. The world record long distance photo proves it flat. Like, you just have to think about it. You don't even have to think hard about it. You just have to question a little bit. It's like, wait a minute, Earth's a big ball. And then people say, well, you don't understand the vastness and how big it really is. It's like, no, we know how big it is. It's about 25,000 miles or so in circumference, supposedly. So, I mean, New York to Cali is 4,000 miles. It's a pretty easy concept to figure out. And so, it's not that vast, and the globe is actually smaller. And this is a very great point, especially for exploration and learning things. The globe is smaller than what the flat Earth model would be, or depiction. To me, says they're hiding land and resources and stuff like that. A ball can have 0 flat spots. What? I didn't know McConaughey said that. Did you find part 2? I didn't. I forgot about it, honestly. What? See, here's one of the things if people would grasp this, all of your ideas of other realms and things like that are more attainable and more plausible with a geocentric Earth. You think of planes of existence, and you think of how the waves work in the enclosed system, and if you would divorce yourself from being in outer space, and if we focused our science on what's going on right here under our dome, then we'd probably be a lot more advanced. Probably have like some flying cities and things like that. Bustin' Biscuits, what's up, brother? Y'all doing all right? Lizzie in Florida, how's it going? The land of the free. Y'all find it wild that Florida had more visitors this year than any other year they've ever had on record during all the madness? It's pretty wild. So it gets crazy. North Carolina's getting where I'm at on the coast is ready to head for the hills. Kevin just messaged me. He said about 30 minutes he'll be on with us. So we'll just hang out, chat, talk about whatever. And then we'll be talking about Flatten the Curve here in a little bit. Comes out next week, guys. It's going to be awesome on the 22nd. Message him back real quick, sorry. 22nd. So Vika is in Spain, and when the movie releases, it's going to release based on their time. So it's going to release at 2:22:22 at 22:22, which is 4:22 p.m. here on the east coast of the U.S. Pretty sure I did that right in my head. So at that point, so 16:22. So at 4:20 on the 22nd, I'm going to start streaming, and then when it drops, I will be streaming, screen sharing and streaming the movie on the 22nd. Billy, my uncle was a crew member of the jet that piggybacked the shuttle. What? Hey Billy, how many followers do you have? Can you go? You want to go live for a minute and chat about it? Yeah. I mean, it's going to drop at 16:22. We might as well make it at 16:20, right? Harpo, that's Tyler, right? Harpo crates. Yeah, I'll be live streaming it right here. TikTok has a screen share feature now, so I'll just start the movie, screen share it, and leave it streaming most of the day. And it'll be on realtruthseekers.net is the main website where it'll be going from, but it'll be everywhere. Facebook, YouTube. Oh my God, my brain went blank. I forgot what that thing was called. Hey guys, also anybody that has a business that you would like to talk about and push that would benefit you or your family, if you sell stuff or make stuff or whatever, and you'd like to come on live sometime and chat about it and give people your info to try to connect, reach out to me, because I'd really like to start getting some of that going. You know it's going to get silenced. It has to. We'll see how it does. This is going to be the first big one that's like, you know, actual pilots, actual people on submarines and doing this job that are explaining it. Hey Billy, are you on your phone or tablet, or are you on your desktop? If you're on your desktop, you can't go live. That's probably why you can't figure it out. Usually when somebody says I can't figure it out, they're on their desktop. You have to be on a mobile device. So we'll see if it gets censored. See what happens. You are? Huh. That's weird. See it? That's not what I wanted to do. Billy. Invite. So you should get like a little invite that and Tyler did the soundtrack. That's pretty awesome. I'm great. How are you? About 20 more minutes and we'll have Kevin in here. What does my wife think about Flat Earth? She's kind of indifferent. Like she doesn't care, I guess you could say. Yeah, she doesn't care. She knows that she can't defend one or the other, so. Your wife told you, duh. Snap, yeah. Yeah, where the Starlink satellites are falling. She thinks you're. That's weird, man. King Sleeper. What's up? My hubby thinks I'm nuts, but the biblical truth alone is there. Hey guys, when y'all get a chance, Vika said my wife's total flat earth. I posted a video today. It's like shows a cartoon clip of a movie. Y'all should go watch that when you get a chance and duet it and share it. Too many photos with no curve. Just see for dang ever, can't you? Just about. Himalayas. I've not seen that one either, dude. I swear I think stuff gets hidden unless you send me a link. There's some of them I can't find. Right, yeah. Dude, I never even, like, thinking about it. Whenever I went to Iowa when I was a teenager. And I'm from Mike. I'm from the sticks, man, in the mountains of East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, okay? So I go to Iowa. It was the summer after my junior year of high school. And bro, it's so flat. Crazy. You can just see, I mean, forever. You can just see. Just boom. It's crazy. Flatter than a pancake. Mike said that the ball spins with such consistency while the weight is not equally balanced is a trip. You think the dome is more of a play? Hey, King Sleep, let's talk about that. I actually don't necessarily disagree. And this goes in. How does it not get thrown off center? Oh. So, check this out. If it's. I think everything is planar. Like, and this is again me just think it's not I can prove this. This is just me thinking. I think we see the clouds in planes, and then they have texture and thing above them, but they don't fluff in all directions. They're pretty much flat. You get at the right angle, you can see the clouds are flat underneath. You get to see the Aurora Borealis and all that stuff. You go see that, and you get at the right. Go far enough north, and when you're there, you see it. It's like on a plane. It's like you're watching something dance on a translucent floor above you. I think the stars are also the firmament, whatever, I think is a sheet. It's a plane and everything is in. And I think the dome perspective is how we see. And that's it. That's why we get star trails in circles no matter what. But we can see how they'll start to go this way and this way with a line that's equatorial in the middle and go in both directions. It's how our eyes see. We see everything from a personal atmospheric dome. But we're not a snow globe. I get it. I just want to be able to demonstrate it. Right. But I think what that does is I think we can look at that and then see how our little section of the plane is inside of what we call Antarctica. And then there's other sections. Mars could be over here and so on. And those things seem further away, and they are further away than like our sun or moon, but they're not light years and millions of miles. They're thousands and thousands of miles off in the distance. But under the land, I think it's just foundation. It's just flat, just like Minecraft. I think we could build that in Minecraft. I'm not very good at video games because I don't even play them, but we could probably do that. Right. Plane upon plane. Right. Something like that, Mike. Just multiple spots of fields that all kind of almost intersect. Right. The traveling freely part, like, it would not be hard to just convince a bunch of us, let's just go. Right, and having to think of crazy, technology to get these distances and see, I don't know how we could demonstrate anything because everything, when it comes to the stars in that personal atmospheric dome, everything we use views that way. Like our cameras and telescopes and these things are based off of our eye and how our eye works. I was getting ready to ask you if you could. And that's right. Sounds like the reason it does sound like the reason we can't isolate gravity. It is, though. It's like you get to this point to where, well, how do we see without that dome? How do we see without the dome? Because everything we uses that mechanism. It's a diabolical, brilliant lie. It is. If we could only see flat, it'd be weird. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it. But then again, you have nice. Mike's going for some mud flood footage tomorrow. I'm probably about another week or two out before I can really hit outside with the kids. It's not been warm enough. It's in 20 minutes. Awesome. I'm really hoping that I'm going to get back to Kentucky this summer. Yes, Mike, yeah. Get out of this. Primitive. Well, and that's what I was going to say. I was getting ready to say something about that, Vika, when it comes to the firmament being a plane above us and not an actual dome. Then that goes goes to like some of the Admiral Byrd reports of actually finding the firmament and where it meets the ice. So there's that. It really just comes back to we should be able to freely and independently explore and travel our Earth. All of us. I have seen that, Tyler. Who was it that was not being here now, actually? Hold on, let me see. Trey, are you in here? Is it you that was talking about the something, I forgot what the stuff's called now. Ringwoodite, that's it. Yeah, I mean, more like a greenhouse, that makes sense. Solid oxygen air being frozen solid dome. I mean, that could be too. Diamond. Texas Truther, what's up, brother? Sapphire, yeah. Small pieces. Polish astronaut, yeah, I saw that one. What was his name? forgot his name. I was just watching that again the other day. I forgot the dude's name already. Igor, that's it. Igor. So what about the stuff coming out, the Stanley Kubrick infection was an actor? I haven't seen any of it. But Mike and I are gonna be live tomorrow night, starting at about 10 Eastern time. We're gonna do that on Thursdays. Tonight I'm doing one. Now it's a one-man movie. Well, kind of like after they started dropping shit and getting caught with it in dropping it in ISS in what should be zero gravity, they then came up with the explanation of the pockets of gravity after the fact. It's funny how they always come up with these excuses after the fact like that. It's just, and then people are just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Briss, what's up? So the idea being other folks have said that nothing like Kubrick before he died. Right. Well, I thought that too, and then I went and looked at pictures of Kubrick, and I was like, well, yeah, he does look like Stanley Kubrick. That's a contradiction. Right. Right. Why would they get his look wrong? I heard they're going to crash the ISS. Yeah, I think I can't remember what the year was. The next few years, though. 7 years or so. They're supposed to crash into the ocean. Always gotta keep your head on a swivel. Man. Let's do it. Dumpster diving at Point Nemo. Hell, let's just go to the Bermuda Triangle. Well, for you, the Nemo might be closer. Never mind. Lots of good tech we could discover. I went to school with a kid who works for NASA now. Is an astronaut, supposedly. But he back when I used to have like personal social media accounts and not just things for stuff like this, he had unfriended me on Facebook, and I wasn't even like out with flat earth stuff or anything, but he saw it coming. Trying to set my guitar down, sorry. And not let it get up. There we go. We got Kevin Bobick coming in here in just a few minutes. Anytime now, actually. Guys, we're going to talk about flatten the curve and other stuff. Cool, Mike. I'll let you later, man. So tomorrow night, every Thursday night, for the most part, kids allowing, Thursday nights at 10 Eastern, Mike and I will be live. Chit-chatting about stuff. Thanks, Billy. If y'all don't follow Mike, you should follow him. Check out his stuff. And yeah. Hey, what's up? Yes. Would have to be very hard. See him. Sorry, I'm looking to make sure I sent him the right login info. Got this candle that's supposed to smell good. It smells really good, but I have to like put it up to my nose to smell it. It's pretty weird. It needs to be stronger. I need to find my charger, guys. Nah, we'll be all right. And you know, it'd be really cool if I could figure out a way to make commercials. And I feel like, hey, my brain went blank. Here's a commercial, guys. Hey, my brain went blank. You should go to my website, TruEarth TrueMan.com. No E on either true. TruEarth TrueMan.com. It's under a lot of construction, but it's live, and you could go maybe get yourself a t-shirt. Dude, I can't wait, Billy. Checking my text from the wife. East Haven to Port Jefferson. I need to map that out. East Haven. Just gonna put this in my notes over here. Connecticut to Port Jefferson, not Fort Robbie. Jesus. Dude, I've got a image of it somewhere. I didn't take it, so I didn't see it with my own eyes in person, but it's I can't remember where it is, but it's 90 miles. Like 90 miles. Sorry guys, that's not a book. Call it Mirage. And then you go read about mirages and how they work, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's not a mirage. Those are buildings. Hey guys, I'll be right back. I've got to grab my charger. Grab my charger. Well, round is a circle, bro, not a sphere. So it's still around here. It's not sphere here. It's not sphere here. It's around, like a circle, like a pizza is round. Come on, man. Circle. Right, once you see it with your own eyes, it's just like, yeah, whatever, guys. People can make fun of you and ridicule you, and it doesn't matter. I saw it. It was the sunrise that got me for sure, though, when I saw that the sun doesn't actually rise above the horizon. It's just coming at you. You just got to be at the right perspective to see it coming at you rather than rising, appearing to rise. Well, dude, we all are. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's in every single thing. It's like the root of everything is based on that. All of the entertainment, everything. What about GoPro footage that doesn't show an ice wall? GoPro footage from where? Viewing where? Like, you're not giving any evidence of anything. You're just asking a question that has no context. Nothing. It doesn't. What you said literally means nothing. And that's not me trying to be rude, but it just means nothing because there's no foundation to what you're saying. It's just an empty question. It's called cognitive dissonance. It's just this random empty question that doesn't actually ask a question. It's just something to make your brain feel better about defending your worldview and the paradigm that you've been given. Cool, guys. Kevin is just about to come on. No theory, all facts. That's right. You know, anybody that thinks about it, dude, I had this one guy who was going back and forth, and he was kind of, what's literal proof, man? All you did was you didn't say anything or do anything. What footage are you talking about? Give me said footage. Where is this footage taken from? How high up were you? What kind of a camera were you using? How strong was the zoom? So how far were you actually seeing with that camera? And then again, go back to the fact that I've already demonstrated to you that Earth is flat, provably, measurably flat. Elevation angles require a right angle, which requires a flat baseline. You can't get an angle from a curved adjacent, which means you can't navigate. Nautical navigation proves the Earth is flat. High enough from where to see? You don't. Pretty obvious. Then present your footage. Tell us where it's at. Again, measurably flat. You can't combat that. So it doesn't matter what you say about anything else. It's measurably flat. You have to measure a flat Earth and then do spherical trigonometry to create the sphere Earth in your imagination. You measure flat, convert it to a sphere. It's not hard. It's all over you. What's all over YouTube? Bro, what are you even talking about? Again, you're not giving any context. You're just spouting stuff. And I'm going to say it one more time. Earth is measurably flat. Get an elevation angle with the curved adjacent. Go measure a curved surface and give me an elevation angle. The reason you have to do dip correction is because you're measuring from your eye level or your instrument level. If you're using a sextant or whatever, then you correct to the sea level, to flat, to the water below your boat. Bro, you've never seen GoPro footage that shows a sphere of Earth. You're just a liar. Or you're easily deceived. It's one of those two. You're either easily deceived or you're a liar. Yes, I'll bet you. Guaranteed. You can send me a link, but it's not what you're claiming it is. But once you do... Notice how this guy keeps going back to wanting to show pictures and videos and things that other people have done and YouTube stuff, not stuff that he can prove and do. I'm not denying evidence. I'm giving you the physical tools to go prove it yourself, and you want to go watch a YouTube video. But then laugh at a flat earther for watching a YouTube video. It's dumb. You're a hypocrite and a liar. That's what it comes down to. You can't just be honest in the conversation. Just be honest. It's just hilarious that the very people that tell you that using YouTube to learn things are the same people who then try to send you to YouTube to debunk you. And YouTube pays people like this crackpot that's on here in the comments over and over keeps pushing this Professor Dave guy. He gets paid by crackpot that's on here in the comments over and over keeps pushing this Professor Dave guy. He gets paid by YouTube, works in YouTube studios to debunk flat earth videos. Not to prove heliocentrism, but to debunk or attempt to debunk flat earth videos. He doesn't actually debunk anything. What he actually does is just throws out a bunch of gobbledygook, never performs an experiment, just regurgitates the mainstream narrative to you and says, see, flat earthers are stupid. Yeah, watching NASA's 45-minute loops. Yeah. It's crazy, man. If you really want to know, all you gotta do is go outside and look. Don't even look to anybody else. Just go outside and look yourself and do it. Like, it's not hard. Hey, wait a minute now. All right, Kevin is sharing the live right now from his. You're good, man. There's Kevin in on his. Once you just go in and go to the your menu on TikTok and scroll to the bottom and go to add account, or I think it says add account, something like that, and then use that login info I sent you to log into my other account, and then I can bring you in on the live. Trust your senses, I say, and not just your mind, because it's manipulated easily and washed easily. But use those other senses that you're given. Not a straight answer. Dadgummit. Didn't mean for that to happen. Supposed to connect my phone and connect it to the iPad. Vika said it's late here. Late. It's about what? It's almost 3 there, I guess. Yeah, 3:30. Yeah, I'm good. Hey, babe. Did y'all have fun? Okay.
Do you want to get her? She's asleep.
Yeah, I'll come get her.
You can't get her without picking her up.
Yeah. She's in the car still? Okay. Hey guys, while I'm waiting on Kevin to get logged in, my wife just got home with the kids. I'm going to run out to the car and we'll just leave it running. I'll be right back. Run out and get my daughter. She fell asleep. Bring in. Hey dude, what you got? Whoa. Did you pop it?
No.
Is it a balloon?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's
Oh,
my house.
nice.
It's my goal.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I'll put on a little Cody Jinks for y'all while I go get my daughter out of the car. Not too loud. You want to mess with me so I can prove you wrong. Bro, elevation angles. I'll be right back, guys.
hear them talking under their breath.
Yeah.
Their lips don't move, but I know what to say. I see them looking me up and down, hiding their smiles like I'm some kind of clown. They don't know what you don't know. I'm gonna hurt you as much as I can, and watch you crying down where you stand. I wanna hear the tears hit the floor. I'm gonna hurt you some more. I felt the air sucked out of the room. What the hell did you get into? They just assume that I must be blind. Man, I wish they can read my mind. 'Cause they don't know what you don't know. I'm gonna walk right up to your friends. I'm gonna tell them about the mess you're in. You're gonna watch
All right. Let's see what's going on here. Cool. All right. All right, Kevin, you got the invite coming at you, brother.
you like you never. You want that? I'm gonna.
What's up, brother?
What is good? Can you hear me?
I got you now. How's it
Okay,
going?
perfect. It's going good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Busy day at work. Sorry for the delay. I do appreciate you.
It's all good, man. All good.
Good to hear.
Nice. Awesome, guys. This is Kevin Bobick jumping in with us, part of Flatten the Curve, which comes out next week, the 22nd, which is that Tuesday?
Yes.
It is Tuesday, yeah. So 6 days.
6 days. Yes, sir.
So I'm just going to go ahead and let you go ahead and chat for a little bit and share whatever you want to share with us to start with, and we'll just go from there, man.
For sure. So I've been in the flat earth movement from almost the beginning. I know the beginning started in like 2014. Like I was telling you earlier, I didn't take my red pill till around 2015. But it's already been a while. You know what I mean? I've been dedicated to the movement. That's all my friends and family know me for, besides trying to be a good guy. But I've done a lot of things since that first presentation. Thank you for the little teaser. I appreciate it. I've been to Santiago, Chile. I was the first speaker over there at the first ever international Tierra Plana conference, Flat Earth conference in South America. That's where my El Fermento by Kevin Bobick little documentary I made came from. And then after that presentation, they actually invited me back about 6 to 8 months later, and then ended up going to Argentina, flew into Buenos Aires. The same guy, Agustin Scala, that was throwing the conference in Santiago, Chile. I ended up throwing a conference in Colin, Argentina. So that's where that one was held. I did 2 different presentations over there, one on fluoridation, one on flat earth as well. After that, the pandemic hit, so I wasn't as hard on my meetups, but I usually throw meetups every month. I haven't done that in a couple of months just because I was taking care of some personal things, but I am throwing the video premiere for Flatten the Curve, the documentary. I'm actually throwing that at my house. Have a projector in my living room that's about 100 inches, so hopefully my living room's big enough for everyone to come. But that's a big deal for me as well. I've haven't done a video premiere since one of the first videos I've edited, so we're gonna have like live interviews with some of my friends like Tyler McKenzie, and already talked about having Vika Drazev live over the phone, just so people that come, you know what I mean. try and throw
Right.
in a little show on for him and whatnot. But yeah, it's been an honor to work on the video. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I told Vika I didn't really feel like I needed as much credit as he gave me. You know what I mean? Like, he put my name in the previews and stuff and my clothing line and everything like that. And I was like, I don't deserve that. He's like, yeah, you do, brother. Get used to it. So shout out to Vika for sure. He's definitely
Heck
helped
yeah.
me immensely, and he's always there for me when I need to talk and stuff. So, but super, super excited about the premiere. Super more excited about the video, to be honest. I asked Vika, what was it, 2 nights ago, if he showed anybody it, and he said he hasn't even showed anybody it, the video yet. So, which is cool, which is really cool of him, to be honest. But yeah, other than that, I'm a working dad, so I stay pretty busy. It was a real busy day today, but other than that, I'm dedicated to the truth movement. Hands down, north, south, east, west. Some of my friends actually get pretty annoyed of it because that's all I tend to talk about.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, so Vika, how many times have you watched the finished product as of right now?
He told me he's watched it like over 100 or 200 times or something like that. He told me a couple nights ago. Which,
Dang.
as an editor, as the producer, you kind of have to, you know what I mean? You got to dot your I's and cross your T's when it comes to editing specifically, for sure. I've edited
Right.
a few videos myself, so I know how hard it can be, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's sitting there holding out on us.
He said like 100 plus, or he said 200 plus the other night to me, I'm pretty sure.
All right. Guys, y'all say hi to Remy.
Hey,
What's up,
Remy.
Remy? Hey, let's see. I got somebody asked, are these the Globe Busters? No, this is not the Globe Busters. Not that they wouldn't be welcome to be talking either, but whatever. But that's not who this is. It's a movie that comes out on the 22nd called Flatten the Curve. And Kevin is part of that movie, and that's what we're chatting about.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, Vico, I didn't realize I did as much as I did after looking back on it. I was telling Vika that the other night, but his message inbox just goes on and on and on and on and on, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I helped edit a little bit of the introduction. I'm not even sure if he's going to use my edits. It's not going to offend me if he doesn't, because he's a lot better than I am. But I was always there when he asked for something. Do you know what I mean? He actually asked me to do the conclusion. He told me he split it up into 2 different parts, so I'm kind of anxious to hear that. I've showed a very select few. It was just a speech I did to kind of help conclude the video. You know what I mean?
Right.
But other than that, you know what I mean? Me and him have been chatting back and forth. So I just try and be there for him when he needs me, and it's vice versa. He's always there for me when I need him. So it's just an honor to even be a part of this. Do you know what I mean? And he did such a good job on promoting the video. You know what I mean? He told me the other night, what was it? We already have, I think he said, over 3 million views that we can just keep track of on, I think, the first preview, right? That's crazy talk, you know what I mean? If we can do that times 10
awesome.
just when it comes to the video, you know what I mean? It's just going to blow up so quick in everybody's faces. I'm going to love it because I've been a flat earther this long, so now I can kick back and be like, haha, told you so, and kick my feet up, you know what I mean?
Right.
Definitely.
Dude, that's awesome.
For sure.
Yeah, 3 million.
Yeah, on just a preview. That's
crazy.
That's just the views that we can keep track of too. That's not including the shares and, you know what I mean, people posting on different platforms we're not keeping track of, this and that, you know what I mean?
Well, I need to go see if I can find it. The first time I used the hashtag flatten the curve, I can't remember what the number was, but it was obviously because of the pandemic, epidemic,
Yes, sir.
whatever you want to call it. That hashtag had been used, but it's significantly higher now than just a few weeks ago. It's pretty wild.
From just a few weeks ago, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Just
I need
like
to see if I can find out what the number was when I first used it to promote the film, because it's jumped a big total.
That's good. That's good. And I actually listened to yours and Vika's interview. Great job, by the way. He did kind of nail it on the name, though. You know what I mean? Like the name was already being used, as it was already really hot. You know what I mean? Kind of just took it and ran with it. And then Flatten the Curve, like it just makes sense for a flat Earth documentary. It makes sense for the flat Earth movement. So we should that should have been our hashtag to begin with. I'm not sure if it was or wasn't. You know what I mean? That they were trying to flatten the curve of the rates of the BS. You know?
Right. Well, see, and me, I kind of look at it as it's like microdosing on truth being leaked. They'll put little things like that, and that type of verbiage lock you in your house with this flatten the curve on your brain, and then all of a sudden you've got another huge explosion of flat Earth believers.
Right.
Like it literally happened like that. Like it's watching people over the past year just on TikTok alone that are like, I've been looking at this for 4 months and I already believe it. I'm like, dude, I looked at this for years before I believed it.
Straight
like,
up,
what are you talking about? And
Right,
it's like so blatant and obvious now that people are just like a week into it, month into it, they're like, yep, it's flat. Like, what?
I've seen a couple of my friends convert that quick, to be completely honest, after showing him like observable, repeatable, testable evidence and showing him like one of my videos and stuff. You know what I mean? I literally had this one guy. His name was Santiago. Ironically enough, he watched one of my videos, and then like after the video ended, he was like, "Yeah, Earth is flat." So there's just, I don't know, he's just more open minded to it, and like maybe I kind of planted a seed in him a little bit earlier. But yeah, people are waking up a lot quicker, which is really cool. So hopefully we can get everybody to wake up after just an hour and 30 minutes, right?
Right, dude. And I don't know, it's easy. Hold on,
I think it's easier now for sure.
I don't need to explain meteors and asteroids. I can prove that Earth is flat. We've already had this discussion. It doesn't
Right.
matter what you're questioning about things in the sky that you never actually put your hands on. Earth is measurably flat. That's all there is to. So
yeah, hands down.
yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to explain everything about the skies to you. Earth is flat.
We can measure the Earth. You know
Right.
what I mean? We've done it multiple times, and that's what's really cool too. Is that after it blew up after 2014, is everybody started. Not everybody. There was, I guess you could say, a select few of flat earthers that went out there and then started doing their own observations and finding out firsthand for themselves. That was the initial point for me. After I did my own personal observable, repeatable, testable experiment with my own data, my own hypothesis, my own conclusion. You know what I mean? With trying not to have any pre-biased opinions on it. You know what I mean? That's when I found out, like, holy moly, everything I've been searching is 100% fact.
I went into it like I look at a David Weiss video and I listen to him tell his story. I'm like, oh my God, we're the same person. Like,
Yeah.
I went into it. People that think Earth is flat are idiots, and I'm just a dumb hillbilly that's going to show these people in about 2 minutes how stupid they are.
Right.
And 6, 7, however many years later it is now, Earth's flat, guys.
I think it, honestly, Rob. Do you go by Robert? Do you go by Rob or
Robbie's fine.
Robbie? I just think it's cool because we're just overwhelming them by now, and it's already been like 6 years plus. Do you know what I mean? It's like if this movement really was fake and it really was psyoped, then we would have been shut up a long time ago. You know what I mean? This movement only would have lasted a year, maybe 2 years at most.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This movement is just going bigger and harder, and it's stronger than it ever has been before. Thanks to this documentary, hopefully even better now. You know what I mean? So I just think like people need to understand that. Like, bro, look, 6 years later, nobody's been able to shut me up. So why am I still talking about it?
Well, and you've got people now that are in these fields that use your radar and do all these things that
Yeah.
have just never thought to question, but have now seen. Just like when my kids told me Kyrie thinks the Earth is flat, and I said Kyrie's an idiot. You've got these people that these submarine guys and these pilots and all these people that have thought to think about it, and they're like, oh, wait a minute, what I'm doing actually proves it's flat. Like once you like just actually think about it, it's like, oh, never mind, this is not actually hard at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of sad to see like pilots though, like nowadays that are still believing in the globe. You know what I mean? Like you would think every pilot would know that the Earth is flat just from knowing the horizon doesn't drop, knowing the mechanics of your gyroscope, but they've all been told a lie about their gyroscopes and like the curvature. You know what I mean?
I
And
was going to say the
them not having to
mechanics of the
compensate.
gyroscope is a big thing that most people and most pilots don't know how they're not,
Yeah,
they don't build gyroscopes, so they don't know all the mechanics
exactly,
of it. They don't realize your dip
exactly.
correction on your gyro, it has nothing to do with Earth whatsoever. It has to do with the vacuum lines running that power the gyro and that correction. I can't remember. I watched the whole thing on it. This dude breaking down how the gyro works and why you have to dip correct from a plane. It's all about the mechanics of the gyro and has nothing to do with Earth.
Yeah, completely. And the middle part of the gyro is always staying level. You know what I mean? And if we really were curving around the Earth, 80 inches per mile squared, whatever,
You see that?
you would see the little bar in the middle eventually start to dip down.
Yeah, it would
And
tip.
they don't, yeah, exactly. They don't have a good response to that, the globe believers. Do you know what I mean? And then as soon as you show, like, I don't know, I got in a little bit of an argument with, not an argument, it was one of my good buddies. He's actually a pilot. And I was telling him about, like, how a gyroscope is and like how it does not compensate for curvature. It does not run off a motor. You know what I mean? Like once I was telling him this, he was kind of got a little like he had his cognitive dissonance kick in, I guess you could say, you know.
Right.
But yeah, people just need to open their minds and realize, yeah, we've been lied to, dude, and it's a big deal to be lied to about the ground you walk on and about the luminaries that go over your head every day. You know what I mean? Like it's a huge deal once you understand these things, and people take it for granted, and I don't feel like they should. It's like after I found out, like my brain went freaking berserk. You know what I mean? My receptors started expanding and connecting so much quicker than it ever would. I started learning so much faster. I'm a skateboarder. I started learning tricks a lot faster. You know what I mean? Knowing the earth isn't spinning
Right.
underneath my skateboard and gravity's not pulling me down. We're all electromagnetic field to begin with. You know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
crazy that people
Everything's just
aren't open to it as it should
electricity and
be.
magnetism, man.
Yeah, yeah, and definitely that's a huge deal. That's a huge deal when it comes to
Uh,
the flat Earth for
It,
sure.
and it doesn't have to be like what you think of a magnet and a light bulb, because there are multiple branches of electricity and multiple branches of magnetism, and it's probably and is a combination of all these forms causing different phenomena to happen, whether it be how the sun and moon appear to us or how the supposed planets appear to us or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think there's just
Hey, so
go ahead.
um, we again, real quick, let me hit this. This is Kevin Bobick from Flatten the Curve. Comes out on the 22nd. That's Remy screaming at us. But I wanted Kevin to, because I did a promo with a clip from like your first major video, I guess you'd say, for Flat Earth, and it's you in school in your geology class, flat smacking as we like to say, your class. And so I want to hear about that experience and how that took place and how everyone received it and like teachers and all that stuff.
All right, that's a very good question. I do appreciate you. I ended up studying Earth and Planetary Science. It's what I ended up majoring in right around the time that I was awakened to a movement, right around the time I took my red pill, right? So whenever I went into my geology class at the beginning of the semester, they said, all right, everyone in the class is going to have to do a presentation. The first thing that came to mind is, Kevin, you have to do a flat earth presentation. There's no other subject you're going to do it on. This is geology. The definition of geology is understanding the science of earth, right? So I was like, all right, let's put it this way. I was super, super nervous to do it. I was super ready. It was my first presentation I've ever done in my entire life. I wasn't used to PowerPoints. I wasn't used to speaking in public. You know what I mean? But it was just such a fire that was lit under me to where I couldn't put it out if I wanted to. You know what I mean? So by the time I got an opportunity to do a presentation, instantly Flat Earth came into mind. So whenever I did it, I kind of made a couple of people mad, including my geology teacher. I passed every class that semester. Oh, let's put it this way: I had an English, whatever English class it was, I forget. It was still a requisite, I believe. But every class that I passed that semester, I passed with an A, right? English specifically, I passed with the 89.9%. So basically 99%, right? My geology teacher, oh, this is kind of funny. So after my presentation, during my presentation before, this is just, I don't know, it's a hard question to answer. Because it's one of like, I don't know, it was a breaking point in my life for sure. I was nervous than I ever could be in my entire life. I had feelings not to do it, you know what I mean? I was scared of their repercussions. I was scared of what they would tell me. And then I even had one friend that I first introduced FE to once I found out. He's the first one I told that I was going to go doing a flat earth presentation in a college geology class. He was like, bro, he's like, dude, these geology students, they're going to tear you up, bro. I was like, all right. So maybe kind of timid, you know what I mean? I was kind of scared, but I gave it my all. I'm not sure if you watched it all the way through. You said you showed your kids it, which is very cool.
Yeah.
But it lasted a lot longer than it should have. I think it's a 29-minute presentation. We were only supposed to go for like 10 to 15 minutes. So, but I was going like so tough in the presentation that actually it went into the next class. So the next class started walking in, and then the class was already over, you know what I mean? But everybody from my class stayed in the room because they wanted to hear
Holy
what I had to
crap.
say. So I had like a full classroom from my class, and the next class I was coming in was all full. And like people kept asking why and this and that, and ended up doing that, whatever, posted on YouTube right away, went super viral. But ironically enough, this is something a lot of people don't know, so I appreciate you asking, is my geology teacher, right? She passed me with a C that semester. Knowing I got an A on every report and everything I ever turned in on every test. I got an A on everything, but my final or whatever, she tried to fail me on and ended up passing me with a C. But she actually dedicated an entire class session against my presentation. An entire class session saying satellites do this, oceans curve this and that, blah, blah, blah. I actually laughed at it. I'm not going to lie. At the end of her little session of her class, I stood up in the middle of the classroom and I said, my presentation debunked all of this. This is all BS. And then stood up and walked out, and everybody heard it. So she didn't like me to begin with, you know what I mean? So obviously she's going to pass a flat earther with a C, you know what I mean?
Dude, that's crazy.
And then after that, I don't know, everything just started blowing up. I started doing my own meetups, and I started getting invited out of country. Vic Adraza reached out to me. He's actually one of the first ones who ever interviewed me years ago.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, me and him have been in touch for a long time now. It's super cool. But yeah, that whole experience was just crazy for me. Like, it was a huge leaping point, and I was so scared to do it. It was like something I did not really want to do because I was so scared, but it was something that I like forced myself to do. And then after I forced myself to do it and then see it go viral that quick, I was like, okay, I'm really a part of something big. You know what I mean? Like, this
Right.
movement is doing something. You know what I mean?
Dude, so
And that's when I started.
I'm going to give a confession right here.
Please.
Your video that we're talking about is what made me decide that on my TikToks I would just actually go public and be like, okay, yeah, it's
Yeah. You just gave me goosebumps, brother. Really?
yeah. Like, so that when I sent it to my boys, however long ago, it's been a while, and I've had TikTok for about a year or so now, and I came across that your specific video. I was like, this kid's got balls, and I was like, what the hell, Robbie? Come on.
If I'm able to step up into a geology classroom on the opposition side, right, then you can do some TikToks for sure.
Right. I can get up on TikTok and tell people, listen, guys, I think the Earth's flat.
No, I appreciate that a lot. That struck soul. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
I'm
Hey,
just hoping that I hope it did it for a lot more people as well.
yeah. I'm going to break it down, and I'll share that whole video in parts on my channel here later, probably tomorrow.
No worries.
So people
I
can
appreciate
watch
it.
That'll be a good one for people to watch.
It's like what, 5-6 years old by now? I think it's like, it says 4. I think it's like 5 years old, something like that.
Right. So I know you've had at least one other channel on YouTube, right?
Just my name, I guess.
Did you have a channel before that, though?
I've always just gone off of my name, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So you haven't had one taken. I'm trying to think of who all had one taken down.
I haven't had my channel taken down. I've had multiple videos taken down, obviously, but my channel's never been taken down. I'm blessed with that.
Oh,
I've
that's
been
good.
flagged a lot, and then they tell me I can't be monetized. I demonetized my entire channel. I don't want to be paid for this. Do you know what I mean? But they told me
Right.
due to my content, I cannot be monetized. You know what I mean? But I don't want to be that guy to begin with.
Right. I think that's part of what's about to happen with TikTok too as well. So
For sure.
that's
I
where
haven't
with
been on
me, I'm
TikTok.
like, I'm not trying to sell people information or anything like that. I'm going to sell you a shirt that I designed and made myself just because I put a lot of time and effort into, you know, talking about flat Earth. And if you enjoy it, I want you to buy my shirt.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
but I'm not trying to sell you, you know, on truth.
On information. Exactly.
Right. CJ, his channel is his name, just Kevin Bobick
It's on YouTube.
on YouTube.
I'm highly sabotaged. You heard what I told you the other day, though, not right, Robbie?
Say that again.
Like, you heard what I told you the other day, though, right? About the views on a lot of my videos, and then I run it through RTS, and then
Oh,
it shows
yeah.
you the real views. It's crazy how much I've been censored. You know what I mean? But I've always known this. After my first and second video dropped, I've been censored a lot. So I don't try and go like I kind of do go all out, but I don't do it for popularity. I don't really care what people think about me, if you couldn't tell. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. I was flat smacking before flat smacking was even a phrase.
Right. Oh, God. Content is driving. That's all that should matter. Yep. You're right, Mike.
Yep. Shout out to Mike.
Let's see here. I'm gonna scroll up
Excellent.
here.
So, how long have you been into the movement?
Man, I've been
How long have you been researching it?
since Kyrie Irving said, actually since the combination of Kyrie and Shaq said
Okay.
Earth was flat, and my teenage boys at the time came to me and said, "Dad, Kyrie thinks Earth is flat." And I said, "Kyrie's an idiot." And they said, "Oh, Shaq thinks it's flat too." And I said, "Well, Shaq's an idiot too."
They're
And
all controlled opposition anyway.
and so then that's when I started, and then and that's when videos were big on YouTube and were not as censored. So I got a lot
Yes,
of that good initial info
that's
to
good.
go off of, and then just kind of did my own thing, just by myself. Like I don't know anybody that's part of the flat Earth movement at all, which is kind of why I like my perspective of talking to people because I don't know any of y'all.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Your mom's view, CJ. Oh, oh, sorry.
No, it's
But
all good. Independent research is where it's at, though. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You have to find it out for yourself. Like, I always say this phrase just because it strikes so much soul to me, but I can lead a donkey to water. I can't make him drink. I can lead you to knowledge. I can't make you think. You know what I mean? Like, that's why you have to find it for yourself.
yeah,
We can lead as much people as we want to links and to information and things like that. You know what I mean? Even the documentary, hopefully that'll just overcome that. But at the same time, finding it out for yourself is something that's just, it's priceless. It's like, hey, I found a treasure that I found on myself. You know what I mean? I get to open this big old treasure box and see what's in it. And it has all
right.
these blessings and all these good people that come about it. And, you know what I mean? End up going out of country and then life just takes over by then. Like, it's just a huge blessing to be a part of, to be completely honest.
Dude, it's pretty awesome.
It's really awesome.
Man, for me, like, I can't even think of what I was going to say now, but,
You're good. Sorry for keeping you
well,
up late.
I was just lost into it, and I'm laughing at Mike and CJ in the comments, and
Oh, my bad. I'm not paying attention to the comments.
what does he say about Sigma, these guys? There's a whole
Sigma.
thing.
Okay, so let's talk about Sigma. Let's go there. Have you been to the southern? Have you been to the southern? Okay,
Yes,
let's
let's do
say
it.
it in the heliocentric model. Have you been to the southern hemisphere and witnessed it and filmed it for yourself, Mister Moderator? Have you ever been to South America and done a star observation? I'm asking you this right now. I've been to South America multiple times.
They have not.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about Sigma, a star that doesn't fucking exist. You know what I mean? If this is all perspective, North Star Polaris obviously does not move. That's observable, repeatable, testable data hypothesis and conclusions. Georgia Guidestones proves that to begin with, right? And if we can get a trajectory from the stars that are spinning around the North Star when it comes to Earth's spin that is spinning 360 degrees in 24 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we get the trajectory of that, which is completely inconsistent. I'm not sure if you knew this, Robbie. I've done my own measurements. It takes about, what is it? 2.5 hours every 30 degrees. I believe it is. I would have to look it up. But the trajectory to begin with is completely inconsistent with Earth's spin, right? But the fact that they claim that we get a trajectory doing a time lapse around the North Star Polaris from the stars, right? And then let's just go ahead and go with the heliocentric, blind faith indoctrinated, religious, theoretical, nihilistic opinion. Let's just go ahead and go with their opinion. It's going to spin around the North Star 24 hours and it will reach 360 degrees, just like Earth is spinning, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have the North Star Polaris that is tilting on an axis constantly, right? 23.4 degrees.
Right.
right? Every 6 months. Well, actually, it's more than that. It's times that. 23.4. That's what is it? Excuse my math right now. What is it? 46.8 degrees
Mm-hmm.
every 6 months. And there's no trajectory whatsoever throughout the seasons. So why do the stars end up with a trajectory, but the North Star Polaris doesn't? That's how you'll shut up a glove believer quick. Because
So
I've observed it and
let's
I've done
go
the test.
back to Sigma Octantis doesn't exist.
Sure.
Expound.
All right. I did a lot of this in my El Trumento presentation by Kevin Bobick, which explains the southern trajectory hemisphere, right? Because it goes in the opposite direction, correct?
Right.
Because us in the northern hemisphere, we're seeing the stars going around North Star Polaris counterclockwise. If we go into the southern hemisphere, they start spinning clockwise, right? So they are opposite, which would, in sense, make sense on the heliocentric model if you're on the ball, if you're on the top of the hemisphere, or if you're on the southern hemisphere, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't understand atmospheric lensing. They don't understand perspective to begin with. The way my friend explained it to me blew my mind. I loved it. So check it out, Robbie. If you take a broomstick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your broomstick, let's put a broom on each end or put a pencil on each end. A stick with two different poles at the end, right? We'll just imagine it as a broom. We have a broom with that you're holding in the middle that has a broom brush on the right side and a broom brush on the left side. Okay, imagine this. So we start taking the broom, holding it in the middle with brushes on each side, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pretend we're at the equator at this point. You start rolling it forward, right? You look to the right, the brush is going to be going counterclockwise, correct?
Yeah.
If you look to the left, it's going clockwise. But is the broom brush still going in the same momentum and the same movement, or am I? And I'm having different perspectives. I'm in the middle of the broom. I'm rolling it forward. The right broom is going counterclockwise. The left broom is going clockwise. That's due to your perspective of where you're at that, or in the plane, or on the broom, right?
Right.
If you go more south past the equator, the stars start spinning a different direction, right? That's due to where you were at in this very mystical realm that we'll never know everything about, which us flat earthers are humble enough to even admit. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the sigma, can you show me the observable, repeatable, testable experiment with your data hypothesis and conclusion, not talking to you, Robbie, showing me that sigma actually exists and it's going to stay in the middle, just like North Star Polaris does? I'll wait, and I'll wait, and I'll wait, and it's all propaganda to begin with. If you go to the southern hemisphere and see the stars turning clockwise, there is no middle star. Did you know that?
See, that's what I'm trying to figure out. It's always so supposedly it's just out of sight and you're just pointing in the general direction of where it should be, right?
But if you're in the southern hemisphere and you're in South America and you've done the star observation and you've seen the stars go in the different direction and you see there's no solid star in the middle, there's not a solid star sigma in the middle. Sigma is propaganda, in my opinion. North Star Polaris, observable, repeatable, testable. But can you see the star constellations in the southern hemisphere? No, that all has to do with the vanishing point of the law of perspective and atmospheric lensing. Do you know what I mean?
Right. So you think that's
So
like our dome vision is what basically creates, it's how we see, is why you still get circles?
exactly. Watch my El Firmamento by Kevin Bobick presentation. I have a little section on that presentation that breaks down the southern hemisphere's constellation pretty specifically.
Cool.
I messed up because I said the northern goes clockwise and the southern goes counterclockwise, but I'm my biggest critic, so I always will be. But anyone else, right?
They do circle. I think, and that's what. Here's
Did you
we were
go
talking
ahead?
about this earlier. Is when it comes down to is everything we use, like whether it's a camera or a telescope or whatever, is the technology is based off of how our eyes work.
Yes,
So
sir.
there's no way we could. How do we figure a way to test the theory that it's a personal atmospheric dome, that it's just how we see? You're going to always see those. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. It's almost like asking how the sun works. Do you know what I mean? Have you heard
Right.
the theory that the sun is its own perspective, and that's the only way it reaches its light and heat on different parts of the countries and continents? That's basically the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's really mysterious. Like, that's the best part. Like I said, I'm gonna say it again. That's the best part about being a flat earther. We don't know it all, and we're willing
Right.
to admit that. We're willing to admit I don't know. You know what I mean? If somebody asked me how big is the sun, how far is it, what is it, I would tell them I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, because I don't authentically. But at the same time, that's what makes it more mysterious and more intriguing. And you know what I mean? It makes it more like, wow, like what am I really living in? Like if that sun is my perspective and it's only for me, what does that make it? You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know, it's mind blowing to me. It kind of coincides to like kind of the Matrix simulation theory. Do you know what I mean? Like I
Dude,
don't even
if
want to
you
say
think
that.
about that, like this is just what came to my mind when you just telling that story is thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. That's that verse is all that psalm is what came into my head when you're talking about that the sun is personal, your perspective to you.
Yes, sir. I love it. You know what came to my mind when you said that? Matthew 5:14. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. People like you and me, Robbie, straight up, we are the light in this darkness, and we have to shine.
Right.
But light was created before the sun, so that's a whole nother topic I
Yeah.
can go off on, but we'll hold that for another time.
Man.
Thank you so much for having me on, though. This has been an honor. Like I was kind of nervous. I'm not gonna lie, but
Nothing to be
I actually,
nervous about.
I talked to Vika about it. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna have much time to practice this and that, and then Vika was just like, he was like, dude, just be you. You know what I mean? Just go on there. I was like, well, me and Robbie, we're not gonna have like much time to practice or anything. I don't know what questions he's gonna ask me. You know what I mean? This isn't my first interview. Don't get me wrong, but I was just kind of
Yo, what's up,
nervous and
guys?
things. You know what I mean? And he was just like giving mad love. It was cool.
Right.
What's going
Yeah,
on? What's
just
going on?
be yourself. Mike, what's up, brother?
Yo, you guys can hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear
Yeah.
you fine.
Right on,
Hey,
right on.
Kevin, this
All
is
right,
Mike. Mike is like my partner in crime, and we do lives together Thursday nights.
Mike, lovely to meet you. It's a pleasure. It's an
right
honor.
on. Right on, Kevin. Hey, man. So just so you're not set up for failure, I'm a little more skeptical right now. I started
Please.
off more as a flat Earth, like really challenging the globe model, but I came across some things that I've kind of been flipping it a little bit and really putting the onus on the flat Earth folks. But
Please.
I'm still very much in the middle. So I'm an inquisitive fella, and I really enjoy the debate. So I appreciate this. Uh,
Thank you.
but so from my perspective, with the regards to the southern stars, now that's a really
Sure.
interesting claim about Sigma. But if we could just set that to the side for a second, the way I
Okay.
look at it, so the heliocentric folks have a really good point when they point out the idea that you got these southern trails happening due south from South America, due south from Africa, due south from Australia, New Zealand,
Australia.
and then also Antarctica supposedly. And I granted that the Antarctica stuff could just be propaganda, but
Yeah, it is.
at the end of the day, so what I propose to the heliocentric folks is that's really compelling. You know, that idea that you're seeing those southern circles due south. I want to see those southern circles from the same place or from two different places at the same time. That would be really strong evidence. I'd like to see it for myself as well. And I think a lot of this comes to that. But that's one thing.
Okay, keep going.
That's one thing that I would put on their side. But on the thing that I would put on the flat Earth side, what I'd put on to folks over here that are more inquisitive is we got to see the stars moving. We got to see that trail because they got footage of the circle, and we got to have footage of that circle kind of drifting from place to place because the flat Earth model does have due south in different locations. You understand what I'm saying?
Due south in different locations. If you want to mind explaining, I'm sorry.
So due south on the flat Earth model is just every place opposite of north, which is every place along the ring.
Yes, sir.
So if I'm gonna look due south from 3-4 different places, terrestrial places, 3 places that are only accessible by land, and those are all sort of
Cardinal
representative.
direction, east, west, north,
Right,
or south.
and those are all
cardinally, not polar.
Right. And those are all sort of different directions, right? Outward directions. But I'm still going to see the same phenomenon, granted at different times. So when it's midnight at my place, I'll see this phenomenon. When it's midnight somewhere else, you'll see that phenomenon. So what I gather the flat Earth argument is, yeah, they're seeing that at their time. But we got to have evidence of that moving, of that drifting to their place from one place to the other. So I think that would be a nail in the coffin for the flat Earth side. Like, boom, look at this. We got it moving. We can see it. It's not always a perfect circle at the south. Sometimes we do see the southern stars moving into location, something like that. Whereas I think the heliocentric side, if they could say that, hey, right now in South America, right now in South Africa, right now in Australia, we're seeing the same thing, that would blow it out of the water too. So
Right. So here's
Have you
the thing:
ever? Okay, go ahead. Robbie.
is the claim is those places all see it due south at the same time. That's where
and
the birds
they've
and
never
fruit fly.
produced that claim.
Sigma
They've
cannot
never
be
put.
seen from all 3 different.
But you guys
from 3
understand
different
how?
continents.
But you guys understand how like there's 2 different things that need to be satisfied for one side to be correct. Like either one side could produce the trails moving. Like I got trails. I got the stars moving from the continent to the other continent, moving from the time zone to the other time zone. So boom. Now we just have to figure out why the perspective makes it look like a circle. That's all we have to figure out.
Exactly. So truth prevails. Atmospheric lensing is going to come into play. If you take the same observation and do it at the equator, you're going to get the stars rolling in 2 different directions. Did you know that much?
No, I'm with you there. I am with you there. And I know that we've been able to demonstrate that. But we, and when I say like the flat Earth folks side, like, I'm kind of on your team, but I'm just on the research side. But I think that folks have been able to demonstrate that lensing effect that you're talking about.
The atmospheric lensing comes into play, the vanishing point of the law of perspective. The law of perspective to begin with,
right,
and how I see things are going to change the conclusion on the hypothesis of the experiment we're going after to begin with.
Right, Kevin, but you will acknowledge that that kind of effect is not going to be consistent 365 days a year.
I beg to differ because I've been to South America and I've done the observation multiple times.
Okay, but doesn't atmospheric refraction or that kind of thing have to do with temperature and humidity and different effects throughout the year?
Well, that would go to altitude and density. When it comes to the stars observations, not necessarily, because the
so my hypothesis would say if what we're witnessing is a result of that, once in a while we're going to see a little skewed effect. Once in a while we're going to see a little distortion because of that. It's not always going to look the same.
Depending on location, sure.
But I do think that that's sort of a feather in the hat for the heliocentric side, is they can actually just go out there, to the same spot every night and get the same thing, which also is like a counterpoint for flat Earth, which says, hey, those stars haven't moved for thousands of years. They're always in the same spot.
Sure. I feel you there. Yeah. On the same
So this
time,
is
you know what I mean? Is there an observable, repeatable, testable experiment with data hypothesis and conclusions that proves
right.
sigma is in a stationary spot, just like our
Okay.
North Star Polaris is? You know what I mean?
But
Our
but
North
you're
Star
just
Polaris.
but you're coming up with a third thing, or at least a third thing from my point of view that we would have
What
to
do you mean it's the third
satisfy.
thing?
So
What
I
is that?
got one thing. One thing is I want to see the southern circles, that perfect circle that is predictable from the southern point of every continent. I want to see it
With
from multiple locations,
no star in the middle.
but I want to see it from multiple locations at the same time, which the heliocentric people have not done. Okay.
So you
So
want me
the
to go
other
to?
thing, but the other thing is I want to, for the flat earth side, I want to see the trail. I want to see that perfect circle that the heliocentric people are proud of. I want to see it actually drifting across the sky, moving from continent to continent. So that's the second thing. Now, your thing is hey, I need to know that sigma actually exists, which I'm down with too. I'm ready to figure this out as well. It's something I haven't really thought of. So
Please do. It'll be easy to figure out. I promise.
okay, but to me, that's just a third thing on my list of the southern stars that that are really peculiar
Well,
to me.
see, and that's where it comes into when it gets to the debate side of it, is we before it's not a third thing, like knowing that
Okay,
sigma actually exists would be the first thing. So the people claiming that this thing
okay, well
exists,
that's a good point. That's a great point.
like
Okay, that's a
you're
great point.
claiming this thing exists, you need to prove it first, and then we can move on
Okay,
in the conversation. The
Thank
rest
but
of
the
the
you.
one thing we
conversation
do
is
know,
irrelevant.
well, regardless of whether or not sigma is directly in the middle or that star exists, I mean, the idea of the southern star circle, the circle of stars
I
that they
got you on
take,
that. So check
Yeah,
this
that
out.
is,
exactly. I went over that earlier.
So
It's
check
just
this
and if
out.
we
your
could
perspective.
duplicate that, if we can duplicate that, if we can model that in a way that is consistently repeatable, like you say, right, repeatable, demonstratable, and everything, then I am on
Observable,
board.
repeatable, testable, data hypothesis, and
Right.
conclusions. If you
So
look
let's
at my
do it.
flat Earth presentation, I've done it. So if you
I don't
take away
know. I don't know
dome,
if you've really done the circles. I don't know if you've done the circles.
the
I know you've done the
circles, bro.
opposite. I know you've done the
Believe me,
opposite. You've done
believe
the
me.
opposite of why we can see things spin the opposite way, which I agree with. I don't contest that that's wrong. And I understand your statement about the pencil spinning. And if you spin the pencil, if you look to the right, it's going counter. If you look to the left, it's going clockwise. But that also has this idea of both ends rotating around us, which is what the globe model is.
Okay, so check this out. The sun, how the sun appears to set, is the same thing as your stars. It's what creates your circle. So when we see the sun set,
Right.
even though
And
from
that's
the
something
flat
that
earth
we have to,
perspective, we
right.
know it's just going away or coming toward us and rise.
Right. That's why I think
So
being
with
able
the
to make a
stars,
model, even if it's really small, or even like on a, like dare I say it, a computer program, but being able to make a model that would mimic this, you know, would give us a lot of leeway to help people visualize this, you know.
but see, and then here it comes back to we can prove Earth itself, the land and water that we live on and walk upon, is flat. You cannot get an elevation angle without a flat baseline.
Right.
Like you can't navigate the oceans without a flat baseline. So, like all the stars and stuff, all that stuff is awesome and fun, and let's go talk about it and discover it. But it has nothing to do with whether or not Earth is flat,
Right.
because we can measure and prove that Earth is physically flat without having to make up crazy theories of why you can see something you shouldn't.
I mean, there are literally places that you can measure that people would say, oh, this proves that if you just follow this measurement, that the Earth is actually concave, right? And it's not. We know that. So there are places that we can measure things that can make it seem. It does seem absurd to me that if we lived on a sphere, that there would be countless places. It does seem absurd to me that if we lived on a sphere, that there would be countless places we could measure as flat. And it's like the flatter it is, the more it proves it's a sphere. Like it's so ridiculous, you know. Like I'm totally with you guys on that, like in this stuff. But
Thank
so
you.
so it's just but for me, like I just really want to put the onus on this side that you know um get a good model. Let's get this really good model that we can actually model how these
But you
things can
don't. A
happen.
model traps you
That's
into
asking.
Maybe,
dogmatism.
but
It
that's the
traps you into
challenge.
dogmatism, and
No,
that's
not necessarily. Well, okay, okay, what do you mean?
well, okay. Because look at this. You have the Hebrew cosmology and their version of what things are. Then you had the Norse version. Then you had the Hindu version, and you
Hebrews,
have
Chaldeans, Chinese,
right. You have all these different
Egyptians.
versions that are all similar, and they have the same foundation and basic structure of what things are, but they're not dogmatic in exactly
Right on, Harpocrates.
what is the dome, what is this, because these are things we can't actually find out and know most likely.
So
We can just do our best to,
you know that phrase
you know
that
what I'm saying?
George Bush said so articulately, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, can't get fooled again. So great.
That was George Bush?
Yeah, that was George Bush.
I didn't
So
know
good.
that.
You know what's
Fool me
so funny
once,
is like, what I realize is like, between Obama, Bush, and Clinton, and then like this new guy Biden, Trump was the only guy that actually said like articulate things that made sense that just pissed people off. Everybody else said a bunch of stuff that went over everybody else's head. It's like, what does that even fucking mean?
Oh God, dude, listen, I'm totally in the apolitical, like I think government sucks altogether movement.
Right.
But
I'm with you.
listen, if just because it's what the left deserves, if Donald Trump runs and he were to name Marjorie Taylor Greene as his running mate, I'm jumping in on the bandwagon, guys.
I mean, at that point, we can just agree that our initials are no longer USA; they're WWE, right? Like at that point,
God,
like, we're just.
Oh, Lord, that was funny.
That's so. But anyways, so I think what I was trying to go to at that point, though, being fooled and all that stuff, is this. All right, so we've got a lot of stuff happening that's dividing us socially, historically,
Thank you for
racially,
recognizing.
culturally.
Yes, sir.
And then what I find in common with all this, in tangent with this, is that they'll mock those that are against like a vaccine, or mock those that are against like critical race theory, or against whatever the new social thing is, as being as stupid as a flat earther. And they constantly do this. And so for me, like my ears like peak to that, and I say, okay. But then I also think of the flip side. I say that's awfully attractive, right? That's an awfully attractive place to go now. Right now, they're sort of, now they're almost like it's almost like they're funneling everybody that's pissed at them into that place. And so I have to keep my head on a swivel and say, wait a second. Maybe there are other options. Maybe there is a sort of dialectic sort of thing that they're trying to wrangle us in, like a bunch of sheep. Like we're going to argue about NASA or the flat earth. We're going to argue about Admiral Byrd, knowing that he's a Freemason, and astronauts that are Freemasons, right? Like I almost feel like, are we being corralled?
I would you mind, Robbie?
Go ahead.
I could say yes, and at some point, you know what I mean. I
Right.
believe there is a lot of segregation going on right now. I don't want to admit it, but maybe they are using flat Earth kind of to keep people
right.
not as united. You know what I mean?
It doesn't
like
feel right. It feels
as
slimy,
right
but yeah, it seems like something
I
they'd
feel
be
you.
capable of.
I do trust me. I know where you're coming from. You know what I mean?
Right.
At the same time, though, you know what I mean? Like becoming a flat earther, like during this day and time, I think it can overcome their controlled opposition psyop ideologies. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
Sure.
they are professional. These guys that have been running the world, like they're the ones who created MK Ultra.
But
You know
wouldn't
what I
it
mean?
be like, wouldn't it be cool to create a way to make people think they did? Like, oh yeah, they just,
What do you mean?
well, like once you believe in flat Earth, you don't go back, right? So it's like
Exactly. Truth prevails.
flat Earth is the pinnacle though of realizing that 9/11 was bullshit. That that so many other things are the way they've been spying on us and everything else like that. And meanwhile, like it's like the leaders that actually want to bring us together, the people that actually like inspire people, like they either don't get power or they get killed, right? And then you got guys like the Edward Snowden and the Julian Assanges who managed to survive assassination, but yet they are sort of ostracized or marginalized in this place where they can still sort of effectively speak to people, but not as effectively as they once did when they announced what was going on. And it's really tough for us to be in a position where we're like, you know what, you know, all right, I don't know if you can feel where I'm going with this, but it's like
I
I
know where you're
almost
going.
feel that like and I'm military, I watched the way that soldiers get thrown under the bus, and the people actually responsible for the orders get rewarded. They go to the fancy dinners, they get the awards and the special recognition, and they get the positions of high power, whereas everybody else just gets the pat on the back for doing their duty, and it's or sometimes goes to jail or gets kicked out,
Right.
and
No,
so like you see
completely,
all this stuff
completely.
happen, but I just can't help but say, like, with that same sort of entity that understands how they stress us out to a point, sort of offer us, like the honey, right? Offer us the honey, and sucker us into to another side that is just as ridiculous, or maybe not, but I don't know.
No, I feel you. I just feel like if you're gonna step into this, you know what I mean, be on God's side. No weapon forged against me shall prosper. So if you're gonna be as fearless as people like me, then you know what I mean. Things are going to prosper. Things are going to happen.
Sure,
But no,
sure,
no, no weapon will though. You know
This
what I
right,
is
mean? The
also
enemy. This is yin and yang right now. This is a spiritual war. You know what I mean? Us that are on the higher vibration, energy, and frequency, we're gonna overcome and we're gonna transpire and we're gonna win. You know what I mean?
right,
Don't get me wrong. I believe in the New World Order. I know the power they have. You know what I mean? I'm not stupid. You know what I mean?
right,
At the
right, right,
same
right.
time, I know the power that my God has, and my God has postponed timelines to begin with. Would he postpone a timeline for me, you, and Robbie if it was our calling? Yes, he
Well,
would. And completely he would. He would
oh,
postpone a
that's
timeline.
interesting. That's an interesting question. Because it's funny because I
so
don't really feel that I have the protection of a God or a Savior, because I don't have that like within my heart right now. But I do have another thing within my heart, which feels like it, if there is a God, then this feeling is from that God, which is just truly that all of us life truly are from the same place, that we are all from the same Creator, and that we all have a shared existence and a path and a reason. And for that, my faith is, I'm not afraid of like death or like the next day or anything like that. Although I do stress about, the things that happen within my life, right? Um, but
Understandable.
on a grand scale, I feel like I almost have that sort of faith in a creator or in a God, and that comfort that it's all going to be okay no matter what. Like, I guess I feel it's all for a good reason at the end of the day, even though I don't know it is.
That's your discernment coming into play, brother. Good job, honestly. You know what I mean?
Right
But you
on.
have to realize if Earth does not spin, forget the shape. If Earth doesn't spin to begin with, which is a completely, I'm not sure if you've gone down
I
that
mean, I'm
rabbit hole.
staring at it right now. I don't feel it. I don't see it.
Yeah, exactly, dude. We can go to the scientific, dude. I can go off on the fuck. I can go off on the subject for a long time. I'll cut myself short. But if
hey
Earth
Mike,
does
so
not
you're
spin, if Earth does not spin, then guess
Right,
what that means? That
right.
means
I
that
feel you.
in fact, indefinitely, we were created, and somebody put the stars, the sun, and the moon revolving around us.
Right.
You know what I mean? That
I
proves we
feel
are
you.
created. That proves we are special. That proves we are indirect. That proves we have a calling if you're
Right.
willing to accept it. You know what I mean?
I guess I
and
accept it. I
this
just
whole
don't know what the source of
conversation
it is.
The
goes
source of
right
it is
back.
Jesus Christ.
I feel you, brother.
This all goes
Jesus
back
Christ
to
was the way.
not having to have a dogmatic model because the trap that you, Mike, are actually afraid of is what the model does, is
Gotcha.
traps you into
Oh, I can
another.
see that. I can
I
see that.
have
I
to
see what you're saying.
view it this way now because this is what my model says. And
Right.
oh no, if my model's wrong in this little area, then the whole thing's wrong, and now Earth's a globe again.
Yeah, right.
When no, it's and that's why like even for me, like you talking, you saying you don't know what that is. I don't have to tell you, hey, that's Jesus. Hey, that's God the Father, the Abrahamic version. I can say that's God, or whatever you figure out and let God lead you and let that voice that's in you, which is where God is anyway. God is all in all, and you let that lead you to that point on your own, regardless of what somebody else says,
Yes,
whether it's
sir.
me
Fully
or
agree.
Kevin or the Pope or.
Well, forget
So
the
funny.
Pope. Don't put me in that category. Come on. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
But
you
and
know
that
what?
comes back to the whole all these different depictions of Earth from the ancients were
Right.
relatively the same but a different story. It's their version, their perspective on God or gods and the creation, but the
Right.
root foundation of that creation and what it looks like is the same throughout all of it.
Right.
And we can see too far.
Everything to do is to hide God from us.
And not far enough.
Honestly, Robbie, I think it's really cool that you have friends like this, to be completely honest. Because it's cool to have a different opinion, you know what I mean? One of my best friends, his name is Philip Munson. I'm actually one that kind of intrigued him to be into the flat earth, or not even the flat earth movement, the truth movement more. He's like one of the most dogmatic globe believers ever. But he is like one of my best friends. But this guy, like, he's very, very, very intelligent. And he asked me questions that no other globe believer would. So he's made me a better flat earther, but I think it's just so cool to see a relation like you guys.
Oh, right on, man. So I think at the end of the day, like, so all of us being just like good, honest, discerning individuals, like if we all just got sat in the same room or if we were driving in the same car or just whatever and had the same experience of truth, I think that we would all recognize it for whatever that
Yeah,
truth is. And
yeah,
so right now we don't have that, but what we have is the ability to share what our own lives have shown us, and that's what we're doing, you know. And instead of all like being witness to the same things at the same time, we're kind of just showing each other what we know and what we've seen, and I hope that intelligent people won't take such offense to somebody sharing a point of view that is completely different than theirs, but will say, hey, I can learn from this. You know, I don't need to
yeah.
actually let this point of view take away from me, but I can let this point of view sort of enlighten me a little bit, even though it's different than mine. And I think that is like, to me, that's healthy. And then what happens every time, guaranteed, the moment that you can handle somebody else having a different point of view than you go one or two steps past that, you'll discover something you have in common, like
Exactly.
almost
Yeah,
instantly. So I
makes you
think that that's
stronger.
something that we have to keep in mind too.
No, I love it. I love it. Good job.
So
Yeah.
that's it, man. That's where I come from. But right on, man. I appreciate it, and thanks for thanks for your points. I gotta really look into this Sigma stuff, man. Sigma is the thing that's really bothering me.
Dude, the only way you could actually hold on. Let's see if he's still in here real quick watching this. He is cool. Hey, God exists. I'm excited. Think that's how you say that. You asked what video or whatever would convince you that Earth is flat. No video that you ever watch is going to convince you that Earth is flat. No
Besides flatten
amount
the
of
curve.
talking,
Just kidding.
other than
I
the
can't wait
movie
to.
Flatten the Curve that comes out on February 22nd.
Yeah,
That
I'm
one's
excited to
bullshit.
see it. I'm excited to see it.
Um,
You know, it's funny though, fellas. That's my ex-wife's birthday.
that's my mom's birthday.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
What? Oh no. Okay, maybe that's two positives to one negative.
Right, there you
Hey,
go.
don't call me the negative, bro. Come on.
No. My ex is the
No,
negative, not you.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought it was us three. I was like, come on, I don't have anybody that's
No, you're a
Oh.
positive. You're a positive. You guys are
All
good.
right, cool. I appreciate it.
But no movie, no video, no film, no amount of listening to me talk or anybody else talk is going to convince you the earth is flat. Going out and doing it for yourself. That's why I
Right.
constantly say over and over,
Yes.
don't
Hands
believe
down.
me. Don't take my words as anything other than to provoke you to thought and to provoke you into experiment to go find out for yourself. That's it. You don't have to
Bang.
believe anything I say.
Hands down. Very beautifully said, Robbie.
Right. Especially like that's a real beard.
Was that a joke or no?
100%.
No, I'm just making a joke. Yeah. I always joke around. He's got a better beard than me, so
Dude, this is just since,
I got beard jealousy.
what, mid-October when I cut it down? It was
I like
like
the way-
after here.
I like the way your gray lays out, old man. See, my gray lays out so that when the light hits me, it looks like I have a goatee and no like cheeks at all. My cheeks disappear, just gray cheeks, and then I have this big fat goatee, and then beard comes into light. Do you do what do you do? You do like
It's pretty striped.
you put like lard in that or something? You get like bacon grease, you rub in that or
No,
what?
I
What do you
use a
do?
little oil. I put a little oil in there. You know, some nice. I got a
That's really
cedar wood, cedar wood oil.
I get hemp oil stuck in mine, but that's not intentional.
Speaking of,
Oh man. But hey guys, I think I'm gonna have to take off here in a minute or so. It was great chatting with you.
all right, man.
I think we lost Kevin. Kevin
We
fell off.
did. Dang it.
He probably just fell off accidentally. LOL bacon grease. Fair mind with this. That's it, man. My hair's getting long though.
I'm a Dapper Dan man.
That's it.
That's
You know what's
scary.
funny is there he
I'm
is.
here.
He's back.
Yeah, I was listening.
What's
the whole
funny
time.
is we got to compare where our foreheads are at though. I don't know. Like mine is almost at the apex of the. It's competing with Dave Matthews. You still have a.
Dave Matthews.
Oh man. But hey, I appreciate it, fellas. Thanks for the good
I
chat.
appreciate you coming
All right,
on.
Mike.
I appreciate
I'll
you.
see you tomorrow, buddy.
Yeah, we'll be on tomorrow. So if you want to pop in, Kevin, stop in and say hi.
Yeah,
that
True
sounds
Earth
like it.
TrueMan Tok-Cast, 10 o'clock Thursday nights, Eastern time.
Excellent day. So it'll be 8:00 my time.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Perfecto.
Good stuff. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.
All right, see
All
you,
right, have
Mike.
a good night.
All right. Be well.
Hey, guys, while we're talking, Mike's jumping off now. Density Clothing Company on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. That is Kevin's handle. And he sells some shirts and stuff, but y'all go follow him. Be cool if we can get his account up to 1,000 so he could go live too, and Vika and everybody else.
Heck yes, Robbie. I do appreciate you.
That's right, Buck Off. That's Five Ed.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming on and chatting with me, and thanks for what you do and your videos and stuff. And I'm glad I saw your video original one, going back to that again, through someone else and didn't know even who you were or anything. I just remembered seeing it, and that's what was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to say it flat, guys. But so now I'm glad
That's
I actually
awesome.
have your channel so I can share your stuff.
Please. Thank you so much, Robbie.
Heck yeah, buddy.
Well, it's been an honor being on your show. A was a little nervous to get on to begin with, like I told you, but thank you for kind of picking my brain and helping open me up. I'm always my biggest critic, so it's good to have people like you on the side. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in with me.
Excellent. I'd be honored for another interview anytime. Let me know.
Heck yeah, buddy.
Thank you so much.
All right, see ya.
All right, bye.
Cool, cool. Hey guys, also, so tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I'm gonna have J.R. Silva on, who is also from the film, from Flatten the Curve. So he'll be on with me for a little bit, leading up to Mike and I going live at 10. So, and JR is one of the pilots that's part of the film. And so we'll have him on tomorrow at 8. I'll have a promo up and the live scheduled here in just a little bit before I go to bed. And yeah. Cool, cool. 8 Eastern, yes. 8 Eastern with JR. Also, guys, please visit my website, TruEarth TrueMan.com. No E on trues, on the trues. And if you like shirts and you just like to get random cool shirts from people rather than places like Nike and stuff like that, then you could buy a shirt from me and it'd be awesome. Anyway, guys, love y'all. Russ, thanks for those likes. Everybody that sent likes and stuff, I appreciate it. And share away. And again, anybody that would like to come in, I have a secondary account. Thanks, Tyler. So with my secondary account that we've got up to over 1,000 so I can go live with it, I create a temporary password for it, and I can have somebody that can't go live or doesn't use TikTok. They can log into that account, and then I bring them on live, which is what I've been doing. And so if you have something you would like to promote, a business or what you do as a job, and you want to just come on and talk about it, please contact me. I'm going to work on getting some stuff scheduled. Got a guy in Australia that builds guitars and things like that. I'm going to have him on, and awesome stuff like that too, just to help promote one another. And maybe we could stop buying shit at Walmart. Love you guys. I'll holler at you tomorrow.